Imagine this. You live under the same roof as your husband or your wife. You share the same table, the same bed, the same bathroom, but for 20 years, not a single word passes between you. No good morning, no how are you, not even a simple thank you. Nothing. Just a heavy, suffocating silence that settles in day after day, year after year, until it becomes a habit. That's exactly what Otu Katayama and his wife Yumi lived through. A Japanese couple married for several decades, parents of 3 children. And this silence wasn't the result of chance or some strange tradition, but the consequence of suppressed emotions, jealousy, and wounds that were never expressed. At the beginning, everything seemed normal. Otu and Yumi had met in the city of Nara in Japan. He was a reserved, hardworking, discreet man. She was a gentle, caring woman who dreamed of a peaceful family life. They married, settled down, and soon children completed the picture. The first years were happy, simple. They could be seen together at the market. Their laughter echoed in the house. Oda wasn't very talkative, but he spoke. He answered. He took part in family life. And then one day everything shifted. No violent argument, no obvious drama, but a deep change. Oda felt increasingly left out. To him, all of Yumi's attention was now focused on the children, their needs, their homework, their future. That feeling of loneliness grew inside him, fueled by a silent jealousy. Instead of speaking about it, he closed himself off. The silence began and it would never stop. In the first weeks, Yumi tried to restart conversations. She asked questions, commented on the day, searched for his eyes. Oda responded with nods, sometimes with short grunts. Then, little by little, even those faded. He became like an invisible wall in the middle of the house. Months passed, then years. The silence took root, almost normalized. Meals unfolded in a heavy quiet, broken only by the voices of the children. Yumi, despite her pain, chose not to force it. She lived with his muteness, hoping that one day it would end. But nothing changed. For the children, the situation was strange. They saw their father and mother in the same room, but incapable of speaking to each other. They grew up with the idea that a couple could exist without communication. This climate of silence became their everyday life. On the outside, no one suspected what was happening. To the neighbors, the Katayama family seemed discreet, polite, without problems. But behind the walls of their home was a world frozen in muteness. And this silence lasted not 1 year, not 5, but 20 long years. Among Otu and Yumi's 3 children, the youngest, Yashiki, grew up with this strange reality. He had never once heard his parents speak to each other. Never. Not a single conversation, not even a trivial exchange. And the older he got, the less sense it made to him. At 18 years old, Yashiki made a decision. He wanted to understand. But more than that, he wanted to break the wall of silence that had divided his parents for 2 decades. He knew he couldn't do it alone. So he contacted a regional television program known for helping families in conflict reconcile. He told them the unbelievable story of his father and mother. The producers were fascinated. They agreed to try something. The plan was simple but risky: to arrange a meeting in a symbolic place, far from the house, so the couple could face each other without the distractions of daily life. The chosen spot was a peaceful park, the very same one where Otu and Yumi had their first date many years earlier. On the chosen day, the cameras were discreetly set up. The children, hidden at a distance, watched the scene. Otu and Yumi sat side by side on a bench, like 2 strangers. The tension was palpable. Silence ruled. The minutes passed. The producers knew it could all fail, that they might leave without a single word exchanged. Then, against all odds, Oda took a breath. His voice, absent for 20 years, finally broke the air. "In a way, it's been a while since we talked," he said with a shy, awkward smile. For Yumi, it was like a shock. 20 years of waiting, frustration, and pain condensed into one sentence. She listened. Ota continued. He explained, awkwardly but sincerely, that he had felt pushed aside, invisible, that his jealousy over the attention she gave the children had consumed him, and that instead of speaking about it, he had chosen silence, a mistake he deeply regretted. He thanked her for holding on, for continuing to take care of the family despite everything. Yumi, moved, did not reproach him. She simply said she wished he had spoken sooner. Tears welled up. The children, still hidden, cried as well. That day, the silence was finally broken. Words could never bring back the 20 lost years, but they marked a new beginning. Otu and Yumi returned home different, more open, more aware of the fragility of human bonds. This story touched Japan and the entire world because it reminds us of a simple but essential truth. In a couple, communication is the invisible thread that binds two hearts. When that thread breaks, it sometimes takes courage, humility, and a little outside help to tie it back together. As Yoshiki would later say, "That day, I heard my parents speak to each other for the very first time, and it was the greatest gift of my life.